2 p.m. on this Saturday afternoon, February 14th, 2026. I thought I'd stop on out and get a current recording of the skies out here. And nothing really to see. Unless, of course, you know what you are looking at, right? And of course, we could zoom in on some of the some of the stranger stuff. Peculiar, yeah, I can't even talk today, so screw that. We just had one of our local circle jerkers fly overhead, but I was monitoring the uploading process that's been taking forever, as well as watching a little bit of the Idiot Box. Yeah, I guess I could have recorded that, a small flock of birds that just flew by. But let's go ahead and, well, just for the fun of it, we got us a squirrel down here, and I'm not sure exactly who this might be. Almost, yeah, we were blurred out again, weren't we? Almost looks like a foxy girl, which is foxy squirrel, a female squirrel. But then again, I cannot tell the coloration of this squirrel. Just a little distraction from our sky observations. But once again, not really much to be seen. But speaking of distractions, so have you been wasting your time with, yeah, that's Foxy Squirrel, Foxy Girl. So if that's Foxy on the tree here, and that means that Black Bart should be around nearby someplace. And we got a blue jay. Just came up, kind of squawking a little bit. But anyways, have you been wasting your time on this Epstein nonsense? Do you think it's going to go anywhere besides a couple of people that might get in trouble for something that might be sort of somewhat related to the Epstein files, if you will? Have you been getting distracted by CI Atlas and that nonsense? Or maybe the Guthrie case. And I'm going to put in my 2 cents of no longer minted worth of opinion. But I have to laugh, or at least giggle, every time that the FBI gets involved with any kind of high profile case. The Federal Bureau of Investigation? Seriously? Well, that must be a very fallible agency, because they're always relying on the help from the public. And of course, always having to, once again with high profile cases, offer rewards, because apparently they don't know how to investigate. Well, other than that door cam video, what else did they have to go on? You might think nothing at all. Well, with common sense reasoning and deductions thereof, it had to have been an inside job, possibly a family member of some degree, because, well, there was no signs of struggle, no blood, no this, no that, right? So she possibly went willingly because she knew whomever the person was, or persons. They're going by just that one video. Maybe there was a suspect behind the house, going through a different entryway, and the masked person in the video was just a distraction. And there seems to be an awful lot of distractions that is going on today, especially when it comes down to this reset, right? Because everything is being reset today. The financial system, and oh, so much more, right? Now, mind you, these are just my personal opinions, and I have a right to make such claims, right? So, once again, are you actually being taken in by all these distractions? Okay, there's going to be yet another distraction that's already begun. Basically, it began at the beginning of this year. 250 years of so-called independence, right? Or since the founding of this country. But is it really a celebration of the founding of the country? Or of the founding members? Because they were all Freemasons. Okay? They did away with the penny. Stop minting the penny. And I'm going to bring this back once again, as I've stated in past video. So what are they doing in celebration of 250 years? They're going to go ahead and come out with celebratory minting of the nickel, dime, and quarter. And they cost so much more to mint those than what it was costing to mint the penny. Oh, of course, there's going to be a limited amount of these anniversary celebratory coins. Oh, but that's not all. Now they're bringing back the coin that was being used back in those days, in which I have a replica of one of those coins, but now they're coming out with a replica of that coin that is supposedly in either gold or silver. Man, they're just trying to soak up your money left and right, you know? And that's all everything is financialism. Everything revolves around the almighty dollar. And, well, and they try to put God in the mixture of the narratives, right? Well, sorry people, but if you believe in the God of the Bible, yeah, talk about one of the biggest distractions ever from the realities of reincarnation or reincarceration back to this planet. A prison planet for your soul, or spirit, if you will. Actually, I prefer spirit because spirit is to the mind as the soul is to the body. And the soul is the energy source to the body, right? Yeah, I know I should have saved this for a Sunday sermon video, I can't even see if I'm getting that or not. Okay, here we go. I guess it's right in here someplace. Once again, okay, right there. Man, these guys are flying in all different directions. I tell you what, I wish I had a giant fly swatter so I could just swat these sky bandits around. Just like a mosquito or fly that most people would crush with a deadly blow. But I try not to take the life of anything anymore. Why? Because I understand the karmic rules of this existence. And that is why I plan on not coming back. My final chapter, especially if I have anything to say about the situation. Yeah. Oh, hey. And we got, so, oh, come on now. We got us a trailless wonder here. Um, and again, oh, there we are. If we can focus in on this, I don't know. Okay, so we got, again, this trailless wonder. And then we have, of course, the trail provider that just flew over. Oh, and for those other than, possibly Jarmy Vicious, but definitely design guru. Other than those two, yeah, don't worry about providing likes or comments, because you don't do it anyways. Yeah. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Alright, I guess I provided my 2 cents worth, if you will. Hell, you can't even do 27 cents worth anymore because you still need to have that 2 cents worth on top of a quarter. Oh, life is such a joke anymore. Just an asinine joke overall. And so many people are so blind it's unreal. And so many people will keep coming back and keep coming back until you are awakened. And speaking of that, which I provided a community posting in relation to that, the only time, and more than likely will be the only time, that I will actually agree with this garbage known as artificial intelligence. But why am I willing to agree? Because artificial intelligence knows everything about me, right? And I've already made mention of many of those details throughout the history of my content pertaining to reincarnation and the spirit and higher consciousness and and all that. So of course it's going to, because it's programmed to do so, it's going to provide information that, for lack of better words, jives with me. Yep, I'll be glad to go home. And, they say, oh yeah, into the light, right? Remember, before there was the light, there was the darkness. There's many channels out there that makes the claim, when you die, you see that light, don't go into it. Don't allow past family members or friends or whatever to lead you into that light. Why? Because it's just going to bring you back. They will just help bring you back. And regardless if it's to relive this current life once again, or a past life under a different name, a different identity, male or female, those that have crossed over and within that so-called light will drag you right on back. Who wants to come back to a prison planet? A prison planet to where, well, those in control use us as lab rats, experimental guinea pigs, and so on and so on, to where their God is the almighty dollar. Silver and gold. That's why those that have political power positions are doomed to come back, because they just will never learn. Yeah, I've gone over that too. See the book of Coming Back, which is a book on reincarnation. And once again, go to my playlist. You can find all that information. Well, I guess before we sign off once again, we could attempt to capture one more of these goobers flying through the skies here. If we can. And there it is, I think. Dim down the lighting to where I cannot really see the screen, because once again I'm getting an awful lot of glare from the shine. Yeah, I believe I'm capturing it. But enough, we capture these goobers all the time, and it gets rather boring, if you will. And I have to admit, I am like many others out there that get a kick out of the results from these sky activities. All the pretty colors and all that, and that's all they want to focus on. And that is a distraction, that is a major distraction from the realities of what is taking place. When you got people that all they're doing is sharing these colorful captures that they get without showing the cause, the root cause of it all. And once again, these are not natural colorations, those so-called halos, especially those that stick around all day long, when the definition to a so-called natural halo occurs only at two different positionings of degree from the horizon, and in accordance to the sun. Yeah, I try to spell it all out for you people the best that I am capable. in layman terms for the most part. But then again, I don't get a high amount of views unless it's content that does not include such observations. Why? Because they don't want the realities of what is happening to be known. They don't want more people to understand these realities. And that's why Google and YouTube, Wikipedia, Encyclopedia Britannica, and, there's got to be others out there that try to slam those for bringing about this type of content, to demonize them, belittle them, defamation of character, and so on, and so on. Oh, but they try to censor us from speaking out about other things, certain countries, certain lineages of peoples that, of course, fall under false narratives within history. Oh yeah. So many distractions from the realities. And we have some more crows flying over back in here. Gotta love those omens. But yeah. Oh, and for those that are watching, don't worry about going to my community postings and checking them out, because you don't anyways. There's a couple that do, but only if I, should make mention of checking out the community postings. Yeah. Now people are getting so distracted because of the video shorts. They like that TikTok style. Once again, anything that is Americanized, such as the new brand of TikTok, ends up being a complete failure. Americanization has occurred throughout the years onto many countries, and every time there is no benefit. Our government makes it out like, oh yeah, you can prosper. Yeah. First, though, we need to bomb the hell out of your country, and then we'll come in, we'll rebuild it, and then we'll provide you with McDonald's, Oh, and golf courses and other tourist traps, right? They'll make you prosperous. No, it just brings in more money to this country. But, leave it to the almighty dollar to be the leading distraction. The strive for riches, or the strive for fame. Yeah. And then we go back to the Epstein files, and Hollywood, and oh, life is such a joke. But somebody forgot to add the punchline. And on that, I digress. This is Captain Morgan, aka Skywise. Out.